Hello, welcome along to another video. In today's video I'm going to concentrate on 2 or 3 jobs that all gardeners, most gardeners, have to do at this time of year. The summer flowers are coming to an end, the autumn is fast approaching, winter's not quite here yet, so we need to get on with quite a few jobs before the cold weather sort of sets in. Summer hasn't completely gone away because I've got lots of flowers in the garden that are still in flower, and some are even pushing out a second set of blooms. But I'll show you a little bit of that towards the end of the video. But let's concentrate on some of the tasks that we really do need to get on with at the moment. Task number 1 is my large privet hedge out the front of my house. Now, I don't usually leave cutting the privet hedge until October, but September has been so busy this year. First of all we went to France for a week. And by the way, the last video that I made was of the botanical gardens in Bayeux, so if you haven't seen that video, have a look. I'll put a link to that video in the description of this video, so if you'd like to go along and have a look at that. A really interesting botanical gardens in Bayeux. So that was the first week, and then I went off with a few friends of mine and we were playing golf in South Wales for 3 or 4 days, and then we came back and then we went to the Lake District to visit family and friends. So for the first 3 or 4 weekends in September, they've all been taken up with traveling around and doing that sort of thing. So that's why I haven't addressed the large privet hedge at the front of the house. Job number 2 is to sort out my 2 large hanging baskets that have been sat out the front of my house all summer, giving an absolute blaze of colour, and I'm really pleased with how they've turned out this year. But as with most things summer flowering, they started early and they finished early because the summer has been so hot and dry. So they're now they've all dried out. There's still 1 or 2 plants in one of them which I may be able to rescue. There's an osteospermum in one, and there's 1 or 2 hanging plants in the other one which I may be able to rescue, but the majority of it now has completely finished. So I'll give that a sorting out. Job number 3 will be to address my sweet pea bed, the little small centre bed where I have the sweet peas. Again, wonderful sweet peas this year, they've really done well. But now it's time that I cut back all the sweet pea growth, dismantle the cane structure that I put up earlier in the year to support all the sweet peas, because I need that bed to put in bulbs. So 3 jobs, let's get on and cut that hedge. So this is the sweet pea bed, and as you can see, all the sweet peas have dried off now. They've all sort of finished flowering and they've all died, and they're all nice and crispy and dry. I have been round for the last few days and I have been collecting a lot of the seed, or as many of the seeds as I can actually get hold of, because sweet peas, once they get very ripe, they then pop open their pods and scatter the seeds all over the ground. So I suspect there'll be some sweet pea seedlings in the soil once I start moving it around. So I've collected the seeds. I'm going to plant those later in the year, and they will provide plants for next year. And then I need to cut all this growth away and then take out this cane structure. It's a shame really, because we still have some morning glories, and here I've got morning glory seeds which I shall just take off, and we've also got morning glory flowers. Now this is the second or even the third set of flowers on these plants, so I'm just going to have to sort of bite the bullet and lose a few of those. I could wait another week or so for them to go to seed, but then that holds everything else up. I've also got some statice which I do need to take out as well, and I notice on the ground that there is literally hundreds and hundreds of nasturtium seedlings. Now I don't usually collect them, and I don't usually bother too much about those because there are so many in the ground that if you pull them all up today, there will still be enough to come back next year. So let's get on with clearing the sweet pea bed. So that's all the dead sweet peas and morning glories taken out the way. I've also taken out some statice which had finished flowering. So now all I've got to do now is to sort of pop off the cable ties that's holding the structure together, and then I'll get that down. Weed out quite a few of the surface plants that are there. Now there are some weeds in there, but the majority of them are nasturtium seedlings, and there is also some forget-me-not seedlings absolutely covering the surface of the soil. Now I do want some forget-me-nots next spring, but I don't want the whole bed covered in them, so I'm going to weed a few out so then I can get some spring bulbs in there. Right, so this is the centre bed all clear of sweet peas, statice and forget-me-nots and nasturtiums. I've left one nasturtium down there because it's still in flower, and we've got two Salvia amistad plants which were cut-ins for last year and they were planted out this year, so they can stay there. A little bit of ribbon grass at the front and a few nasturtiums right on the outer edge, so I'm not too worried about those. Now there are some bulbs already in that bed, but I've got a lot more to go in, but that will be in the next video where I'll be planting a bulb. I've got to sort them out first, so there's a little bit of preparation work required before I can get them in the soil. So that's job number 2. We're all clear, so I'm just going to go around the front of the house now, and I'm going to get on with the just tidying up and taking down the 2 hanging baskets.